Actually, you're disturbing the brand value.
The broker he is doing is disrupting his market and he is cutting into his own pocket. Let's say he was supposed to get say 3.5% for a deal. He's working on 0.5%, 1%. He's thinking कि मैं सबका पैसा खा जाऊँ, 40 फ्लैट 30 फ्लैट बेच लूँ, तो he will get 1% into 30.
What happens when
buyers ever get the 3%?
अरे,
They will never get the 3%. I can guarantee you this much.
Sit outside that site. या तो सबक मिलेगा या पैसा मिलेगा. तो मिलेगा.
Welcome to the hashtag show. Today we have a very, very special episode. Two of my very, very closest friends who have been in the real estate industry for more than 2 decades or probably 3 decades. It's with a lot of pleasure I introduce Prashant Puri,
Thank you, Sangeet.
PP
How are you
from
doing
Thane,
today?
and Sandeep Prashant. And this is coincidental.
Thank
PP
you.
and SS.
Double S and double P's are here.
And SK.
And we have been friends more than business. I think Sandeep and I think हमने कोई डील नहीं करी है.
नहीं.
शायद करिए कि नहीं याद नहीं आ रहा.
We tried, but
we not done. प्रशांत के साथ में तो हमने कभी धंधे के बारे में बात नहीं करी है. सुबह 7 बजे 8 बजे फोन पे बात करते थे. So what is the common link between the three of us is our passion towards the industry, is towards the knowledge. Though now the industry has changed और आज थोड़ा सा knowledge के ऊपर ज़्यादा emphasis है. But हम लोग इतने सालों से जो काम कर रहे हैं, we really enjoyed discussing real estate out of the typical the buy and sell requirement. So Sandeep, which year did you start your journey of real estate? And I think you started a job, right?
Yeah, I was with my uncles in 1993 and then I started on my own somewhere close to 94 end. So from 94 to now, nearly 30 years plus.
So three decades.
3 decades, yes.
So I'm not wrong there.
Yeah, absolutely not.
And you started working with your uncle.
Yeah.
Which is Narayan.
Mr. Narayan, yeah.
Got it. भाई प्रशांत तेरे को कितने साल हो गए?
Same story. I started working with my uncle.
तूने भी अंकल शुरू किया?
Mr. Malik. And
वो तेरे मामा लगते हैं?
मेरे मामा. So it's been 24 years.
वेरी गुड. तो बहुत सिंपल है. आज 24, 25, 30 साल अगर हम तीनों का एक्सपीरियंस यहाँ ऐड कर ले तो 75, 80 इयर्स का एक्सपीरियंस हो जाता है यहाँ पे ऑन द टेबल राइट नाउ. तो एक तो ऑब्वियसली जो जर्नी है तुम्हारी पर्सनल जर्नी एज अ रियल्टर, एज एन कंसल्टेंट एंड इंडस्ट्री पर से एज अ बिजनेस, हाउ इट इज ट्रांसफॉर्म.
Oh, well, I remember the days when you used to start your day at 7:38 in the morning when, on a Saturday morning you will put an ad in the Times of India and you will get your calls from somebody the other early morning. And so early morning was the best calls because
correct.
If you know the
I still remember
engagement, जो 8 बजे आपको phone करता है, he is a genuine guy because he is taking the pain to call you up in the morning and you realize that very much. Those days only mobile phones were not there, pagers came much later. And so the only dependency was the conviction in your client's voice and yours to both the parties.
Very nice.
That if I'm going to be at Kemp's Corner at 1 p.m., it is 1 p.m.
Yes.
If he shows up, he shows up. He doesn't show up, you have no choice.
There is no communication.
There's no communication in between.
Communication.
And then the trouble was this, sometimes the clients never used to show up. Then you used to find a PCO or a phone booth and call him at his house, and then it was like it's not going to come.
Very
fun days. Those were the fun days.
It was like a blind date you're always going on.
Very interesting.
But interestingly, so very rarely people not used to come because those days the professional real estate advisors were very few, and people who were advertising meant business. They were not just for sake of putting an ad. Those days was no concept of lead generation. It was a client who used to specifically call for a property and you can go and transact on that.
Custodian of information was us.
Yes. So we used to sell information, as they popularly say.
Now it's digital. That time the entire information was with the broker and the consultant and we have been.
You're talking from the both primary market and secondary market.
There was no primary, no secondary.
तो था ही नहीं
कुछ भी.
Builder
जब डेवलपर सीपी मीट खोलना करता था, डेवलपर 4 ब्रोकरों को फोन करता था, इसका रेट क्या खोलना चाहिए था, तू कितना बेचेगा.
और मेरे ख्याल से स्क्वायर फीट भी पूछते थे कि भाई मैं 3 बेडरूम का कितना स्क्वायर फीट बनाऊं, 4 बेडरूम बनाऊं तो कितना स्क्वायर फीट बनाऊं.
See, those days the development was very frugal, very small, micro market में, because most of the buildings were done up. the concept of, I think, the secondary market came in early 2000s, or
Yes.
I would say 1997, 98 onwards, when things started hotting up. We used to say, I remember seeing a Nahar ka ad, 2080 ka HDFC ke saath. You know, there was a big hoarding
scheme.
Subvention. In
First
those
time.
days,
Never heard
in
of.
98, 99, you used to see those big hoardings with the Nahar ka trees and so on in Powai, and we used to wonder what is
There's a
this all
Chandivali.
about? Chandivali. So those were the days when hoardings came up and people who wanted to sell, because they had land banks with them, you know, large, huge numbers. So that is another big thing, that 2080 was prevalent those days also, because developers knew कि इतना पैसा आज की डेट में कौन देगा मुझे on an under construction stage. So pay 20% and go home and come to me after 3 years, 4 years when I make the house.
Correct.
So
3-4 साल में बन भी जाते थे, 7-8 माले ही होते थे या 10-12
12 माले हुआ जब.
so that was a beginning, I would say, and then
Now, Sandeep, earlier we were you said the micro market, right? I think you're one of the first brokers who used to do a lot of work. You are not specific to one micro market. I remember you doing South Bombay, North Bombay, Powai, and I think even in the rental space, the relocation, you were one of the first to enter that market.
Yeah. So I think what gave us an edge was an online presence of ours, which used to give us a lot of clients those days. Today the word is leads. We are using the word client because we used to engage with them. They used to take our advice. They used to understand from us what we are saying. Because look, we are in this business day in, day out, right? We go, as you said, you're across micro market. So typically in 1 month's time, I drive my car more than 1500 kilometers or 2000 kilometers, even in Mumbai city at times, because I'm going through all the geographies. Some days I'm visiting at least 5 or 6 developer offices only in Thane or only in Navi Mumbai, only in say Borivali, only in South Mumbai. So I have to get a grip on myself as to what's happening in the market. So that keeps me agile, that keeps me going, and that keeps me informed. Otherwise, if I'm sitting only in Bandra or Juhu or Andheri, I can't talk about Thane market, right? I have to be in that market.
Yes.
So we had to be all across the city to make sure that we are giving the client advice, because client today, like we used to get NRIs, I have only budget of 60 lakhs, 70 lakhs rupees. What should I do? So I can't say I can give you in Bandra.
Interesting.
Then I would say that, look, I have Hiranandani in Thane, pick up there. I've got something else in Navi Mumbai, or something else in outskirts of Mumbai, or Mira Road.
More of an advisory role than of
advisory role, yeah.
But Prashant, you were focused in Thane, right?
Yeah, I've been focused in Thane, but then I've been always interactive in Mumbai because the knowledge center is here. The trends are set here.
So हमने क्या शुरू किया था? Real Club.
The
Real Club.
वो which year do you remember?
2008.
That was 2008.
Lehman crash.
7-8, yeah.
2008 में शुरू किया था, जब रात को तेरा फोन आया.
Yeah.
प्रसाद को हमने फोन किया. फिर करके वो हमारा क्लब बनाया, एक so called informal association type, the Real Club. So Prashant, what was interesting was that you based in Thane.
Yes.
But like we talked about the Real Club, you became the voice of Thane.
But that was the first genuine opportunity created for brokers to network. Well, I am saying, in the first event, how many we saw? We saw 300
people.
300 people on a rooftop. Yeah. And all came just because
of Orchid.
It was a full house. Everybody was there.
See,
the deal is that today, if you go to a channel partner meet, you're only meeting the 3 or 4 developer sales team, and you're meeting, say, your community members only for a 30-45 minute span, and then you are inside the hall, and then you have the presence of developer going on. So there's no room for networking.
No room.
So other than knowledge, which is the common link between the 3 of us, the second thing which I can say is networking.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So
we are still together. We all are still together because the network was strong.
So I would want both of your take. You can start, Prashant, first. What is the importance of networking in business and specifically in real estate?
No. Overall networking is important. I have been here, whatever I am, because I networked hard that time. Who knew? Did you know me before TRC? Did you know Thana before TRC? So this all, I have presented myself, I have penetrated the market, and because I wanted to be there, seen with people, knowing people, because ultimately I said the the
Client.
client was in Mumbai, head office was in Mumbai, accounts was in Mumbai, offices were in Thane, and these were the people who were handling corporate retail, corporate businesses. So it never made any sense to be in Thane and sit for the client. You have to reach the client, and TRC was the right platform to reach the broker who has the client.
What do you take?
On your TRC, I would say that as things mature, okay, when I knew you were 20, 30 years younger, and same was I. So the real club or the TRC, we have now made it the real connect, you know. So in fact, very happy to share with you that we are having the largest networking meet next month on 11th Feb, which will reignite the entire ethos of our system, which is networking. Because let's say, you know, 30 years back, today what I am because of my relationships. And how relationships formed? Because you spend time with each other. You connect with each other, you like somebody, you don't like somebody, you know, in after half an hour, 10 minutes, 15 minutes meeting, you want to work with him or you don't want to work with him.
So do you get a lot of referral business?
Oh yes, we do get a lot of referral business. You think a lot of people from South Mumbai who are my friends in there, like I give Prashant a lot of work in Thane.
I get only
So you also get reference?
I only get reference. I get
he gets the best.
Only numbers.
And he should be paying me actually now, royalty.
So there is one interesting thing which is there, which we all know, that there is the new era of mandate marketing companies. So with the Xanadus of the world, we have good number of, I don't have the numbers, you have the numbers, so you can share the numbers if you have.
Sure.
And I would want that in this 1 hour discussion to give it as numbers possible, which you have, because you're a number man, so you have all numbers. So what do you think is the change now? So your mandate broking firms हैं, ultimately ये भी ultimately local broker के through ही काम कर रहे हैं. So what do you think, what is the role of the mandate broking companies? Will it continue? Will there be a shift? Will there be a change, or how will this
let's figure
kind
out
of
first,
scale up?
why did the genesis of these Xanadu, Guardians, Anurag come into the being? So the developer wanted traction. So when he wanted traction, he just did not want to sell 10 flats, you know, during a launch, or 20 flats. Now he's hungry because the precedent has been like, I've sold the whole building, I've sold 2 wings.
Because the FSI has suddenly so much increased.
Of course, the building size has become huge.
So if you don't have that push at the start,
correct, absolutely.
So the mandate brokers and all, for that matter, every developer wants to sell the biggest chunk. This is required.
And I think with the gated community concept started
Yes,
off.
absolutely.
So both reasons together.
See,
the
So
supply
the
has
project
increased.
size became big.
supply became
Supply
large.
is increasing.
Supply is increasing.
Supply is the culprit.
And hence the need of offloading that stock also has become in the similar proportion. So let's say you have 500 units in a building, you would want to say ki at launch time, I want to get done with at least 50% of the building. So now for a developer to, on his own strength with 7, 8, 10 people, it's difficult to manage the entire show by gathering that kind of traction and so on. So the mandate companies come and they descend on the project with say 50 people team, 100 people team who only specialize in the pre-launch or the launch business.
Which is not easy for a local broker to hire 50 people.
Broker.
Where the developer doesn't have a bandwidth.
Developer doesn't have
हाँ वही कह रहा हूँ ना, तो local broker के पास capacity नहीं है 50 रखने की.
local broker-
है,
local
वही
broker-
बेचता है, मतलब बेच तो वही रहा है.
नहीं
I'll just tell you. I'll just tell you.
from.
So the developer.
Why are we not getting together to replace them?
So developer mandates to the guys. Then he then in turns hires say 50 people. Those 50 people go to every
and that
micro
50
market.
broker, sorry,
50
those 50
professionals
professionals are
who
for
are
that
going to the
project.
brokers.
For that project.
They get into aggregation. So then it's 1 at one time or 2 at one time, you know, in the same geography or the same micro market or whatever it may be, right? So let's say if I am an X company today and I get a mandate of say 500 units, what is the first thing I'll do? Okay, I'll hire say 40 people under me. They will go to each and every nook and corner, find who are the performers of the market, they'll get them on board. Okay, they'll get them on board, show them the project, they'll have a channel partner meet, and they will start knocking it off. Because educating the broker there on a one-to-one basis is the key here.
I think यहाँ लोधा ने अपना पहला one of the first
Lodha the pioneer of CP meeting.
Pioneer.
और ये जहाँ तक मेरे को याद है, it was called the handshake. You have to go to the broker, bring the card and show it to the senior कि भाई मैं प्रशांत पुरी के ऑफिस में जाके हाथ मिला के आया.
I think most of the brokers of our time might have tasted all available 5-star hotels. Just because of Lodha doing events in every 5-star.
और जबकि लोधा का अगर आपको याद होगा वेजिटेरियन,
Pure
because
vegetarian
being
without
Jain,
alcohol.
no daru and
nothing.
But then what crowd?
Craze was there. Craze was there because you see what happens is you used to get a lot of insights into the CP meets, product information, and also you get to meet a lot of your peers, industry peers.
And Lodha was also evolving. No? Lodha evolved because of all this data. I will say they have the master data today.
Yeah, they have the master data.
And they have mastered the data.
Sorry.
And now they're not doing CP meets anymore.
They're only webinars.
Because now they have been there, done that. They don't need it. The cycle is formed for them.
They don't give you support now.
But they're good. They're good in their own way. They're performing.
So little tricky question now.
Yeah.
Lodha has the data. ठीक है. Typically आप जब client लेके जाते हो तो आपको client का नाम लिखना पड़ता है, right? तो प्रशांत पुरी bring संगीत कुमार, मोबाइल नंबर, ईमेल आईडी. तो आपने एक प्रोजेक्ट में दिखाया. What happens to that data according to you?
See, one is the data which is transacted.
And there is no bones here. We are talking.
Yeah.
No,
absolutely.
Nothing
Nothing. We all industry people. We all understand.
The viewer is also understandable.
So
and no targeting anybody.
No.
So what happens is in a similar as a journey of
data क्या होता है
client.
उसका?
So let's say if you are coming with a client, there are two options happens. One is the client transact or he does not transact.
Absolutely.
Transacts, the game is over. He's transacted. You
आपको
get your
पैसा मिल
fees
गया.
and you are done with it. Okay. If he does not transact, there's something called VDNB, visit done, not booked.
Not bought.
Okay, so that data remains in the system of the developer, and there we have a little bit of a disconnect in the market, which I think is a big thing to be addressed to and attended to. For a simple reason is that today, if I'm looking at a premier segment, say between 3 and 10 crores, the timeline to decide that whether I want to buy a property within 2 months or 3 months or 6 months is not at all defined from anywhere, because either the guy is selling something, or he's on rent, or he's waiting for his paychecks or his bonus or whatever it may be. His
very good.
And if the broker is lucky, he has a capital gain money.
And capital gain. So
now you have to be lucky for
another thing here is that to understand is that by the time when he's going out with you as a broker, he may be on a Reiki trip, right? Let me understand.
It could only be an idea.
Discovery mode.
On a weekend, husband wife ने बोला यार चल घूम के आते हैं.
Let's take a case where I am buying. I have to sell a property in Delhi, or I have to sell a property in Bangalore or Pune or wherever, or in Mumbai, a 2-bedroom to a 3-bedroom, or my existing flat to sell. The first trip is always to look and feel, right? So what happens?
The discovery.
So the look and feel trip
at that time he also gets a reality check.
And he gets a reality check. So now problem is that tagging period currently is from 60 days to 6 months with different developers. So everybody here in the industry has a different definition.
तो एक तो यहाँ पे कोई set
rule नहीं है.
SOP नहीं है.
There is no precedent.
And which is wrong, because what I am saying is that if this gentleman has come through Sandeep Saad, he should be tagged to him forever.
100%.
Till the time he buys from you. How does it matter if he comes after 3 months? How does it matter if it comes out 6 months? The first genesis.
I'll give you my perspective.
Yeah.
How do I know as a developer the relationship which you have with the client you have brought in here is very strong? Because ultimately the dhanda jo hai, it's a game of relationship.
Sangeet, I've got him once to you. He sat with you. He had coffee with you. You filled my form. Whatever it is. Tomorrow, with whatever is going on in the market.
He could come with Prashant tomorrow.
No, so Sangeet,
that is exactly my point. Is that
give an insight here. We are still making money on our own relationships and references.
Correct.
We are not handling the digital lead. So in our cases, majority of the time we are handling reference cases.
Yes.
And I have sold a flat to the father also and to the son also.
They are, you know each other.
हाँ नहीं हम कोई वो किसी ने बटन दबाया और हमारे पास मैसेज आया वो लीड को हैंडल नहीं कर रहे हैं. मतलब we have such strong relationship where we have sold it to father and sold it to son also.
तो यहीं पे इसी पे सवाल करते हैं ना. What is according to you with whatever years of experience and you are doing a lot of digital work yourself and you do a lot of launches and pre-launches. You have couple of websites, you have a portal. what is the ratio? Is there any kind of a number? Ki this is the digital coming through digital and this is coming from direct sources of our connections?
So what happens is that
Let's
say if you get we on an average get around 1500 2000 leads a month, okay, across our systems. Now 2000 leads which are OTP verified or email verified or WhatsApp leads. Now the problem we are facing there is that majority of the clients are very new to the market, majority of them, and a lot of them are at inquiry stage. So we have a chatbot built for them for an automatic basic understanding, so that then they can review their decisions and their preferences accordingly. But the challenge is that the mind span of a buyer online on digital is very, very small. It's like seconds and minutes. But when you talk to him on a phone, that call can be anywhere from 5 minutes to an hour. So digital for me is just a zaria or a hook to just get him interested in something.
You want to add?
I think every buyer who is on digital platform is thinking he's taking an informed decision. I beg to differ, he's taking a misinformed decision.
Correct.
Because the digital world is full of fake information. But 9 out of 10 times when he is visiting the website of the thinking that it's a developer website,
it's a landing page.
It's a landing page of the broker. He has not bothered to see the domain name also. It is lodagroup.com or lodakolchet.com or lodavarli.com.
So again, so now we are entering into something called misleading now. Now I believe that this is a Lodha ka website, but it is not Lodha, it is lodha-thana.com.
Yeah.
और मालूम पड़ा वो प्रशांत का वेबसाइट है। और प्रशांत को जब मैं फोन करता हूँ तो ये बोलता भी नहीं कि मैं आई एम कॉलिंग फ्रॉम सो एंड सो, बोलता है आई एम कॉलिंग फ्रॉम लोधा।
अरे अभी तो विजिटिंग कार्ड छपा लिए ब्रोकरों ने।
So what do you think on that now?
Prashant and me were talking a few days back, and we were talking about a doctor and a surgeon. We come from a pedigree because we are already 30 odd years in the business. We have recall value of a client. Okay, if client calls me after 5 years tomorrow, I will still be there if I'm alive in the business. Okay, because I don't know anything else to do. Right, so real estate is my bread and butter. But the digital companies, the problem is that you don't know who you're dealing with, and unfortunately, as Prashant rightly mentioned, the client's taken a most uninformed decision. The client doesn't even know who he's talking to. He's just talking to a mobile number.
Yes.
You are basing your life's earnings based on a mobile number, which appears on a screen, or any fake domain name, which clearly and I see people with sorry to say very learned people in the industry coming with anyone and everyone. I don't want to demean anyone. They're all professionals. They have their own God's grace on them. But I'm only trying to say is that a simple message to the home buyers: please do little bit homework on the realtor you're working with, like you're doing with your builder. Do you ask 10 questions like when will the possession, how is this? At least ask who the channel partner is. What is his RERA number?
और अगर उसने एक डिजिटल ऐड देख के किया तो वो और को भी फोन करेगा मतलब।
Exactly.
वो खुद डेटा पॉइंट बन गया है ना,
खुद डेटा पॉइंट बन गया।
उस क्लाइंट ने खुद अपना नंबर विलिंगली सबमिट किया है ना, तो एंड वंस यू आर देयर देन यू कांट कंप्लेन कि भैया मेरे को बहुत फोन आते हैं, आपने खुद अपना नंबर इंटरनेट पे डाला है।
We only want one thing: the client should take an informed decision from both sides. Do your homework, who you're dealing with, and then who's the developer you're dealing with.
In one of my podcasts, I said instead of looking for a flat, start looking for a good realtor on internet. You will find better realtors.
चलिए यहाँ पे कंटिन्यू करते हैं। आपने एक डोमेन नेम लिया है डेस्टिनेशन थाना, तो दैट बिकॉज as we discussed this, you do pan Mumbai or pan MMR. I don't do much business anyway. You do Thane. So that's why you've called it Destination Thane, right?
I love Thane.
And you have Real Estate Mumbai, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So you cover the entire Mumbai. So now, how much time, money, energy are you investing into? Because this is a difference now. This is your own platform.
Yes.
This is not magicbrick.com or some third party. This is your own platform. So it makes sense to invest your money, time, energy into your platform. So what is your take on the investment on the real estate.
He also
Mumbai.
owns Propy.
So
And proper next.
so,
अलग
so we own like right now 4 domains which are very actively on. One is realestatemumbai.com, which we look at real estate leasing and resale market. MumbaiPropertyExchange.com takes care of the primary market, so in which we have covered everything which is visible in Mumbai city online. So
new projects.
MMR.
all new projects.
तो आज की तारीख में तुम्हारे हिसाब से कितने प्रोजेक्ट्स रेरा रजिस्टर्ड हैं इस वक्त जो अंडर कंस्ट्रक्शन चल रहे हैं?
in the entire MMR region around 18,000 projects.
18,000.
मगर वो रेरा रजिस्टर्ड है इसलिए वेबसाइट पे.
हाँ, because around
RERA
18,000.
registered.
18,000, but this includes all the developers, or simply to put, they're all under RERA. So whichever is RERA, so that's the approximate number coming from RERA. So, but out of that transactable, if you see, Worli would have say 40 projects, Bandra would have like 60 projects, Juhu would have 25, 24 projects, you know, Andheri would have like 70 projects. So each micro market then has small projects. The majority of the projects ka data, which is on RERA, again, is of the entire MMR regions. The MMR regions goes up to Palghar, so to say.
Navi Mumbai.
You know, Navi Mumbai,
Raigad.
Panvel, Raigad. So if you look at that bracket itself, there are thousands of projects in that market.
Thana is
And
huge.
another challenge which we have in RERA, which I think is sorted now to an extent, because each building could have 10 or 20 RERA numbers.
Every time you go for a CC,
So that is a little
अलग
bit
wing
of
का
a...
अलग अलग.
So what happens is the more RERA numbers come into the play,
More-
the more
it looks great on the data side.
it looks great on the data side. But then if you break it down, then if you
It's
break
very
it down, say
complicated
one
issue.
project has got 10 RERAs, you're like, what the hell happening here, you know? Why shouldn't be one RERA for one project?
Well, I
Let's
am also-
continue discussion with what you are doing and what you are. I saw your website, and you have coined something called branded properties.
Branded real estate.
Define.
See, predominantly, when we started business in Thane around 2022, Thane was being developed by local developers there. And this might have happened in my car.
Mumbai also.
बॉम्बे में भी
Yeah,
हुआ है.
yeah, yeah.
बॉम्बे में भी हुआ है.
And then we suddenly saw a huge, biggest brand coming to Thane was Hiranandani, who absolutely changed the perspective.
This could be which year was this?
95, 96.
95 Meadows started.
No, 95 Meadow. Meadow started in 2003, 2002. Hiranandani estate started. I came to Mumbai in 95, 90.
Yeah, the first phase of estate.
Estate.
Yeah, you're right. The first phase of estate, because estate was in two phases. One is the backside one is the front one where the shops are today.
Shops. So then he was and that was the only brand which was available. While we were growing in business, today, if you go to Thane, if you come to Thane, you name the Indian brand, pan-Indian brand which is not available. Right from Oberoi Realty, Hiranandani, Parvankara, L&T Realty, Embassy Group. And there are local huge brands like Usher Group, then Cosmos, then Regency.
So Thana homegrown brands also are there.
And everybody has become a brand now. So my entire concept of saying branded, this when you buy from a brand, there are chances that you won't fall into any problem and the property will appreciate.
What is your take?
No, completely. You see, all these years,
पहली बात तो यहाँ पे let's define what do you mean by brand. What is in your perspective from a real estate point of view, this is like a brand?
See, to put it simply, you can classify them with listed companies, which is now in a vogue, to non-listed companies.
उसके बारे में भी बात करेंगे.
And then I'll tell you something. See, Mumbai's like Vadvas, Kalpatarus, they've had a name, Rahejas, although they may not be listed. They're great brands because of the fact they've delivered. To me, a brand would be...
So brand जिसने deliver किया है.
No, brand is...
consistent delivery.
Let's define what is brand.
The brand is one thing which has a
I
great...
know when I say Gucci brand or
there's a
that,
great
but
recall
real estate
value.
का क्या है?
There is great recall
Like
value.
Reja Corp, great recall value.
Okay, one is recall.
Yeah,
That's the main thing.
Hiranandani, great recall value. Okay.
So you are emphasizing for you, both of you, brand is, which is a recall.
Overall
And
branding.
obviously the positive recall.
Because he is recalling because he is satisfied.
Positive
with it.
So most of the brands which have been there, like Rustamji, Supreme, Ekta also, Lodha of course now in a big way, Oberoi
DLF
Realty,
re-entering.
DLF re-entering.
DLF.
Yeah. So
The
biggest
biggest example is DLF.
Yeah, so DLF is doing
largest
a
of
great
India.
job right
Largest.
now because the way they have taken us all, they've taken more than 100 people out to Delhi right now on their own expense, showed them Delhi with the simple intent ki, look, you don't know us, come and know us, okay, know what we have done and what we'll continue to do in Gurgaon and also now coming into Mumbai market. So when you are talking to your client, you are always telling, look, DLF is there because we have been embedded with the Kalpatarus and Vadvas and L&T and the everybody in the Mumbai or MMR region in our heads. So for us, DLF was a new entry. So we don't know who DLF is. A lot of us in Mumbai may not have seen the Gurgaon properties, although they might have gone to Delhi, but they have not seen with that eye. Ki, look, this is the guy who's done in 50, 75 years this kind of a build out. Like they made their own metros in
local metros.
Local
ring metros
are made by DLF. The malls.
Though that's what I am creating a new parallel now. Thana is going to have their own internal metro. Apart from the bigger metro, which is Dreamline number 4 or number 5, number 6, there is going to be Thana's own metro, which will connect to the major metro.
Yeah.
This is a great parallel to Gurgaon.
So village.
तो 100 करोड़ का फ्लैट थाना में मैं तेरे को बेच के दिखाऊंगा.
तो यहीं पर बात करते हैं. तो जो इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर डेवलपमेंट स्पेशली बॉम्बे में हुआ है,
वो थोड़ा लेट हुआ है, दिल्ली में जल्दी हो गया.
नहीं जो बात हम लोग बॉम्बे वाले
हमारी ट्रेन निकल गई.
तो आपके हिसाब से जो भी है, whatever the sea link is there, whatever coastal road is there, there's so much happening. What is that impact on real estate?
See, I think people are missing a big point here. Whenever cities become a 45-minute or a 1-hour city, which by 2030, God willing, we should become a 1-hour city from wherever to wherever. So from Andheri West, 1 hour city by metro.
60 minutes
between
point
to point.
2 points, yeah. 45 minutes to 1 hour. So
this is by car you're talking about or by what?
Car or metro. Let's take these
So any public transport or private transport?
I would say just restrain it to metro and car. So 45-60 minutes.
So highway se hai ya main metro se ja?
Yeah, coastal road ho gaya. Like today from here, Bandra, from the point of toll, you have to go and have a coffee with your client or your wife or your girlfriend. 20 minutes. You'll be at Taj or Oberoi, which we was never thought about.
Yes.
Right? So by virtue of this, if 1 hour becomes the epicenter in Mumbai and 1 hour anywhere you go, what will happen is the real estate prices will calibrate. There will come a point that most of the things will be at a similar price point in that area, and then there will be B class building and the C class buildings.
Product differentiation will
start. So then,
why do you want
then
to
your
wear
coastal road, all your see today, Versova is quoting at 65 to 75,000 rupees a square feet on the JP road, which is sea facing. Your Carter road is say 1 lakh rupees to 140, 130, 125, 150.
So what
also.
you're trying to say, and what you are also adding to the same perspective, that the differences in prices will
shrink. Yeah.
But it will be only because of it will be like you are buying
a differentiator.
You are buying the car is same. Which variant you want to buy, and the way the variant changes, the amenities changes, and the car still remains the same.
And the brand.
And the brand on top of it. So the variant, you will pay for the variant. But
and how new is it?
But then real estate is always expensive, it's old.
No, depends totally. So now what happens is that if you're looking at the Nepean Sea Road today, Nepean Sea Road is between the inside ones at 60,000 rupees, 70,000 rupees. Okay, which is not even in the rate in say Juhu. Juhu, you will say come out of JVPD and you're looking at 65-70,000 rupees, and I'll give you today at 60,000 rupees in Nepean Sea Road inside. Older buildings.
No view, nothing.
No view, nothing, which is also the case with Bandra
But
Santa Cruz.
But Marine Drive, correct me if I'm wrong, those buildings are still the same.
There's no replacement value.
किसी ने कुछ किया ही नहीं है building को.
There's no replacement value to this.
See, half those buildings are tenanted. The people are getting few hundreds and few thousand rupees as rent.
They're
in
on
the old
pagdi basis. Goodwill basis.
So there's no joy there for any owner, or there's a condominium who has got so much money. Today the cost of doing up an apartment is humongous. If you're looking at a 1,000 square feet apartment or 3,000 square feet apartment today, if you're buying a complete raw shell, which has become the fashion, you know what your cost is today? You're looking at 10,000 rupees a square feet minimum cost to do up your basic apartment. And then you can't work from before 10 to 2, 2 to 4 minimum, you have to stop 4 to 7. National holidays off, sometimes Saturdays off, Sundays totally off. So what is the cost of construction? What is the kind of cost you're looking to do your interiors at?
And cost of carry.
And debris.
You are paying interest on.
I am doing a flat in BKC and Rustomji seasons right now, just getting it painted, and we had to throw away an old wardrobe. The cost of taking out debris is 4,000 rupees. This morning I paid 4,000 rupees just to remove debris.
Let's touch on a very important point which has changed the entire national real estate scenario, which is RERA. Do you want to specify some good points from a RERA perspective which has done good to the real estate industry?
I have a question. On his question, I have a question. Do you have RERA?
Yes.
How many buyers have asked you this?
Never, none.
So, RERA was meant for buyers, the major stakeholders. They were the people who have always cried that they were always being the affected party, victimized. And no, I have it for 5 and now renewed.
Yeah, of course. From day one we had.
Day one. We were the first batch.
First batch to have RERA. Yeah, both sides. Even the licensing
when
part.
the renewal came also, when GST came also, when service tax came also, whenever.
And even licensing came.
Licensing came.
Yeah.
Till date, it has been 7 years of RERA.
7 years.
Nobody has asked me whether you have a RERA number, whether you have a COC, whether you have... So this was meant for a good...
But Prashant, I have seen your ad.
Disclaimer I have put.
You put there over there.
Everyone has to put. It has to be there.
We have on our website. Everything has. Even your email, every email footer has it by default.
Any information in public domain going from your end will be scrutinized by RERA. It's now.
So if you put an ad without your RERA number, you are on the wrong side of the law.
Yeah, absolutely. Coming to your first question on RERA, see I'm happy with one thing is that consumer confidence has gone up tremendously because they feel
there is an act.
There is an act. There is a body which will take care of the interest.
Policing is there.
There is a
policing is there, and there is also grievance cell there. So if you have a problem,
कोई है सुनने वाला,
कोई है, and then they will give you the right guidance or whatever the final result of your appeal will be either in your favor or not in your favor. For example, So this is the biggest thing. So if you look at 10-12 years back, we as realtors also were concerned whether this developer will be able to complete the project or no, or on time. So our biggest challenge was this. Now with RERA, there is some kind of a timeline given there. Look, this project is slated to complete in 2026 or 25 or 27. Of course, the developers would like to keep a buffer, and they usually keep a 1 year margin. COVID ho gaya, any force majeure, act of God, or any kind of a slowdown. Government policies. Luckily, I'm good about one thing. If you look at 2005, 6, 7, 8, we had government policies in Maharashtra or Mumbai changing like nobody's business. You would have every week there would be a new regulation. The builders would plan something and next day there will be a new policy.
Subodh Kumar ji.
So there was another big issue. Luckily, from the past 3-4 years, that has been very, very stationary. So which is a good sign, Although the FSI and the 3311.7, all those things have changed, but then that's continuously expected in a city like Mumbai because it's a huge city. And you need to develop the city, so you'll have to come out with newer things, So I think RERA on the whole is a good thing. I don't have any.
One more thing which has changed is obviously the cash component. Earlier we were having a higher cash component. आज क्या लगता है आपको cash component है कि नहीं है?
Being the financial capital of India, I don't think we have a major challenge on that one.
नहीं, तो cash component है कि नहीं है?
See,
अब चाहिए नहीं
can't commit.
अभी चाहिए नहीं.
सर, आप दोनों से सवाल ये है कि कैश कंपोनेंट है कि नहीं है? नहीं है.
हो ही नहीं सकता है. There is no space. How will you are paying
builders are openly advertising
land
on hoardings that is for 12 crores, 5 crores, 7 crores rupees.
What will they do? Land is full check.
Full check, yeah.
Construction is full check.
Please,
where is the scope?
Okay, do you have 1 lakh rupees cash?
मैं तो आज 70 रुपए ऑटो वाले को भी जीपे कर रहा हूँ.
Now, if you don't have cash,
डिजिटल इंडिया कर दिया है.
So very good, no. So it's good money in the economy.
और फिर तो मतलब आपकी जो ब्रोकरेज है वो भी चेक से आ रही है.
Yeah, we're happy because everybody
GST
gets
with plus GST.
yeah, we're happy because everything comes in check and we want to pay in check. All the expenses are in check.
So we have discussed the infrastructure development, RERA, branded. We discussed few other points. Prashant, अगले 2-3 साल, how do you look at real estate from Thana perspective and you from Bombay perspective?
See, let's not discriminate Thana and Bombay. Let's focus
because we've got the king of Thana and the king of Bombay. That's
No,
why.
no, no. I want my Mumbai. You take your Thane.
You take your Thane.
Your destination Thane. You take your destination Thane. Don't take my Mumbai away from me.
But I am saying, I will tell you, we are catching you, and we are catching you faster than you are running. Thana.
अब लैंग्वेज देखा आपने कैसे चेंज किया है
कंपटीशन हो गया
हेलो
बोला कैसे
मैं तो आई वाज क्रिएटिंग I was not being
not
biased.
Now the show has become Thane versus Mumbai. Yeah?
So you
okay, so Thana is catching up.
Thana is catching up big time. मतलब
per square feet rate अंधेरी
35,000 to 45,000 rupees per square feet.
27 to 30,000.
अभी कुछ लोधा ने बहुत महंगा फ्लैट बेचा.
लोधा ने नहीं बेचा है.
किसने
लोधा ने बड़ा फ्लैट बेचा.
बड़ा फ्लैट बेचा.
उधर रेमंड ने बेचा है. उसके बाद में अरे ओबरॉय ने 4 दिन में बेचा है.
चलिए अभी साइज के बारे में बात करते हैं. संदीप, what is
This
your
is why I am saying Thana is catching up because.
So what is your take now? एक तो पर स्क्वायर फीट का रेट हो गया, ठीक है,
तो अंधेरी तक पहुंच गए.
अब आप साइज का क्या लग रहा है कि जो पहले पेंडेमिक के पहले और पेंडेमिक के बाद अब बहुत बड़े बड़े फ्लैट देखने को मिल रहे हैं 4,000, 5,000, 7,000, 12,000 स्क्वायर फीट. Why is this trend started?
I'll go a little ahead of time. So once we have the calibration done and the way Mumbai city will evolve itself and settle up, so I would say let's go on a helicopter, okay,
and have a bird's eye view.
And have a bird's eye view, and we take off from Cuff Parade. We see the entire metro done up, okay, all the roads, the coastal road done up. Now we see a few buildings on the marine lines, the new marinas and the
new skyline.
Prestige ka new buildings come up and new skyline coming up. We may see
They all towers, huh?
They all
Oh,
towers.
huge
Okay,
tower.
now I am coming back to
उसके बाद बारे में बात
उसके
करेंगे.
बालकेश्वर में 2-4-5 नई बिल्डिंग्स आ जाएंगी. उसके बाद I am going on a helicopter. I am coming. Worli, most of the buildings are done. The Prestige के new towers have come up. The commercial towers come up. Race course के पास जो आ रहा है अभी आ जाएंगे. You know.
Lower Parel is done.
Hubtown के नए projects आ जाएंगे वहाँ पे जो आने वाले हैं. Lower Parel is nearly finished today. Not many.
There is no land now.
No land now. Unless until some more mill lands open up. There are a couple of 2-3 mills still there. Will come up. Now you come back to the infra story again. When your entire seeps to Cuff Parade metro and the metro coming from Borivali or rather from Mira Road Bhayandar connecting you through airport and taking you towards this thing. So the fixed job guys who are sitting on the seat, okay, or in their shops or in the offices or showrooms or whatever it may be, they go in the morning and they come back in the evening back to suburbs. They will be very happy to take a metro, although they may have cars, okay. Maybe 3 times a week he travels by metro and maybe 2 times a week he travels by car, depending on so and so.
Correct.
Because I feel that Mumbai's metro, because we are an island city and a straight city,
And there's no
and
crisscrossing.
crisscross. Yeah. So what is going to happen is that people are going to say, yeah, this is easier for me. So the moment I say that,
Local has always been
the easiest thing. So if you have local, link road, coastal road, maybe some waterways going forward, you know, with all this infra impact coming up, the impact is going to be on real estate, big time. And I tell you, the size of the apartment is not going to matter anymore. It's going to be location, location and location, and location closest to an infrastructure related project. Like say Sky City today, Oberoi Sky City has a vestibule which goes into the metro from the building through the mall. Like Dubai Mall. So imagine you coming down in your suit, okay, walking down in your nice building complex, going into the metro through the building and getting down at Cuff Parade or at Churchgate or at Kalbadevi or at Worli and going into your office. That is what. So the 3-tier connectivities or 4-tier connectivities in Mumbai today is going to cut down to only 1 tier, which is you, station to station, peer to peer. And the day that happens, and I'll tell you another interesting story. So I did a little bit of homework on this one. Charkop is the further Kandivali is the furthest away means by kilometers like 4 kilometers, 4 kilometers inside, that deep inside areas. From there to there is a minimal.
It's inside from the main artery road.
For main
link
metro
road.
Metro.
Main link road.
So metro.
Where the metro is running.
So from metro to Goregaon East, which is the Gokul Dham ke piche Dindoshi. Dindoshi is at least that 4 kilometers away, 5 kilometers away. Look at Kandivali. Their entire Shapurji's, the entire projects
That
are
is
there.
how many kilometers inside?
Huh?
How many kilometers inside?
3 to 5. 3 to 5. So those are the only places from where majority of the people are going to come and take a minimum auto fare or say 30 rupees, 25 rupees. But at least the convenience is there. That you reach a metro station.
Correct.
And the moment you're more closer to metro station and a good building and a good branded product, size will not matter. Size is the secondary thing for me.
No, size will matter only people who want.
This will be a luxury segment.
Yeah, luxury, obviously luxury.
2 bedroom or a 3 bedroom size will always vary between 200, 300 rupees a square feet.
I was talking about the trend of the larger apartments now. Like we started calling them the Sky Mansion.
See,
So 7,000 square feet, 8,000 square
That's
feet.
only happening in few projects.
Only few projects.
So today, if Oberoi Realty at 360 West has 6,000 and 9,000 square feet apartments, you're looking at only that. If you ask him to make a 2 bedroom for you, sorry.
And then he cannot make that in Borivali and sell. It will always sell in Worli.
So location is important.
Location and product.
Yeah,
Both are
Location
important.
and product important.
Yeah.
Well, if somebody is making this is for the affluent, and they will, if you get them because there is no 10,000 square feet apartment in South Bombay, he is not going to come to Borivali for a 10,000 square feet apartment.
It's location centric.
Let's flip our discussion from residential to commercial.
Very good. Happy.
Good. We've been
very good.
very important. Office.
Very, very important.
Dhara is the next
What's
big
happening
thing.
now between BKC and Nariman Point?
Oh,
Suddenly, because of all your connectivity, Nariman Point, which was
Nariman Point market has revived.
6 years
now.
back, 6 years back, I wrote an article. I think I have still on my website that buy property in Nariman Point. 6 years back, and that was time the rate was 27,000.
Yeah.
That time
Nobody was
Nariman
biting
Point
it.
was all time low, and I said this is the right time to pick it up.
buy.
I was doing a deal in Fort 2.5, 3 years back, and I told the seller, don't sell it. Don't sell it. Wait for the metro to arrive at VT, because from here you will have a stone's throw. Whilst we were negotiating, the price went up by at least 3,000 rupees a square feet from what the seller had quoted. He jumped the price because we gave him input, we don't sell it, but he said, I want to sell it. And guess what? Buyer bought it still at 3,000 rupees more than the quoted price. Because why? He was getting it at a song.
It's about 10%.
Yeah.
If the price would have been 30,000.
Yeah. So, chalo, theek hai, he got something to at least.
But then the entire Fort and Nariman Point market has revived. That entire commercial market
700
has revived.
rupees a square feet, 800 rupees a square feet retail spaces.
But the product has not. Product is still the same.
The real estate is same, but the stores have changed. The front stores have changed into. See, now tell me something. If you were to go for a wedding shopping, okay, in Fort, from Bandra, instead of going around Linking Road and any other spots or
go to
not even
Kalagoda.
getting parking and getting all the 10 top designers of India in one row. You park your car, have your food nicely in one of those nice restaurants.
One of the finest restaurants.
And the finest restaurants there. And you're hobnobbing with the best in any case.
So now you're saying South Mumbai has become the
New
revived knowledge, new charm.
Okay.
Old charm,
Okay,
but new
tell me
form.
you bought a new car in Bandra, okay, or Juhu, and you want to take your wife out in the evening for a drive. You'll say, let's take the coastal road. We'll go and have coffee at the Taj or Oberoi and come back. How much time will it going to take you at night? 30 minutes, 40 minutes, which was 1.5 hours earlier. Now at least these are easy to reach. And that's what I'm saying, when the prices will calibrate, they'll calibrate like this. Now Nariman Point has come back to 55, 60, 65,000 square feet. Which is also the rate in BKC today.
Any FSI benefit is there in Nariman Point right now?
Nothing happening now.
Collector land.
Not till now.
Not till now. But I must tell you one interesting fact which we did is, for example, Thane, we were looking for a client property in Thane, and we realized a big gap there. Let's say 1,000 residential units are being built. Okay, 1,000 buildings are being built, or let's say 100 buildings are being built. The commercial, in contrast, are just around 7 or 10. So there is a paucity of a commercial supply and good A-grade supply. There is supply in Wagle, there is supply in Kolshet, and there is a handful of supply on the entire expressway, Eastern Expressway.
So
It's
I'm
going
not
to
too
come.
sure the data. Again, both of you can emphasize on that. I think for 1 commercial square feet, there is 10 residential square feet being constructed.
That equation has
doesn't.
totally changed
That
now.
changed.
That has also changed.
That has changed
What
now.
is your take now on Thana
way-
commercial now?
Thana commercial market, see, till the time employer is happy that my employee is traveling and coming to my office,
He's not bothered.
he is not bothered. The Thana, most of the decisions only happen when there is a consolidation happening. Well, what TCS came with a 2 million square feet facility. So it came because traveling was eating the productivity.
तो खुद का उन्होंने अपना कैंपस बनाया वहाँ पे
बहुत बड़ा 2 मिलियन स्क्वायर
तो 20 लाख स्क्वायर फीट हो गया.
हाँ,
पूरा बिल्डिंग है.
पूरा बिल्डिंग. उसके बाजू में अभी एक दूसरी बिल्डिंग हीरानंदन विल बी डिलीवरिंग नाउ. आई बिलीव दैट बिल्डिंग इज आल्सो a million square feet.
See, I'll give you a simple another logic. Let's say today your BKC rentals are between 400 rupees to 600 rupees on carpet. Even 350 you can get some buildings. Now, Thane you will get at less than half. Okay. Now, so what will happen is that if your workforce is coming from the Thane Dombivli region, you know, which is the region where you have your IT guys, your lot of
The white
That
collar.
can be your back end office.
look at Mumbai. I don't know if you're aware, Sangeet, that Amazon has picked up huge space in Thane as data center. They have one huge data center already started in data center in opposite the DY Patil Stadium in Mindspace. Mindspace, which is at Juinagar.
They have picked
Google
up
has
L&T also.
picked up something there as well.
अभी आजकल पे कोई बैंक ने बहुत बड़ी जगह ली है.
वो तो HDFC ने लिया.
HDFC ने ली है. अगर
So
East
data
में
center, to my mind, because of the fact that because we have a good stable power supply and a huge amount of manpower, which is like the IT guys in the city. People talk about Bangalore as an IT capital, which is fine from a different perspective. But Mumbai, the presence now with Amazon and Google and all these big boys, Yota is in Panvel at Hiranandani, which
It's a
tells you what
complete
it's a
township.
It's a huge data center. So if Mumbai and the entire this ecosystem here in MMR region, Dombivli mein Amazon has taken, I think so, if I'm not wrong. Palava mein. So if Palava Amazon has taken something as a data center and in Thane they have taken up, it tells you some story behind it. Why they are coming this side of the woods? Because they see good real estate.
Point is, the first thing is the larger real estates are available there.
Infrastructure is nice. We are not at 45 degree. So your AC consumption vis-a-vis a Noida or a Delhi is far lesser.
cheap,
Far lesser. We have more stable power supply here in the Mumbai region. Okay, so these are all factors which are driving these large companies to India today, you know, and these are not small data centers. They cater to like redundancies for the world.
See, I believe in the next 10 years, the next decade belongs to data center, because if data centers will not grow, AI is not going to work. And if AI is the future, data center has to be the backbone.
चलो AI के बारे में बात करते हैं. AI के बारे में बात
कुछ मत आ रहे. ये digital interference in real estate has created so much of fiasco.
So Sandeep,
Why I'm just worried what will AI do?
You are a techie guy, so what is your take on AI now?
We'll live on AI now today. So even contracts today, if you
आज
send
हम
me,
बात कर रहे थे ना Chat GPT के बारे में.
you send me a contract today, I upload it and I say find me my points which I need to look at and give me remedies or remedial clauses for that to balance out the equation there. So I don't have to look at the agreement so deeply. I do look at it from all practical reasons, but just to have fun, I always upload the agreement on ChatGPT, ask it to figure out the which are the clauses which are detrimental to me and which are detrimental to the other party. So I should know both sides of the coin. So ChatGPT within seconds tells me these are the things. And a client asks me what are the problems in the agreement, I just copy and paste it. He says, very good job. So I'm saying it's a fun in a easy going way. But yes, it helps you tremendously to draft out contracts, to draft out a term sheet. You just dictate to it whatever you're doing, and within a few minutes you have some because you see in India or anywhere in the world perhaps, when you sit something with the paper and pen and write down, or when you have some document or something to read on, you always dwell on it कि ये क्या लिखा है बंदे ने, क्या भिजवाया है आपने, you know, what are the terms and conditions or whatever it is. So the moment you document anything, be it digitally or otherwise, you know, people start taking things seriously. And if things are well defined, well, you know, I would say nurtured in the way ChatGPT does for you, I think it's very good. In fact, all our listings today, we're trying to put a raw listing onto ChatGPT and extract out a fair listing with descriptions, with basic things, SEO friendly.
You're coloring it.
We write articles. So I would write half an article today and put it on ChatGPT and say, improvise it. So my grammar is taken care of.
I remember, Sandeep, sometime back, you written an article on buyers' wrong expectation.
Yeah.
Can you stress on that?
Yeah, so expectations.
आप भी बताइए इसके बारे में. आपका स्माइल आ रहा है फेस पे.
हेलो, स्माइल इसलिए आ रहा है क्योंकि आर्टिकल का हेडलाइन ही उसका आंसर है. तो
ये बायर का जो अनरियल एक्सपेक्टेशन है उसके बारे में आप दोनों बताएं ना.
Unreal expectations of the buyer today. One is the price point. So I heard that there was a transaction at 1 crore rupees. Okay, fine. Where did you hear from? My uncle told me. What did your uncle
do? The watchman told me.
My friend told me. These are all hearsays. One cannot just go, okay, I will ask you, give me a fact. When I will talk, I will show you a registered document.
So easy
I will not talk without showing a registered document because this last transaction is 1.41 crores. And you're saying it's 1 crore rupees and you keep on harping on the fact it was done at 1 and get me at 1 crore rupees. Okay.
Because now we have
data is a public domain.
Public domain, index tab, everywhere.
Everywhere.
And you can get that data very easily today.
And they are also using that data. I am saying the buyer has become very smart in negotiation, and when he comes to a developer before negotiation, he is coming prepared. He has already done that entire.
A lot of guys, not all of them. A few of the big ticket guys.
संदीप, इसमें एक और एक सवाल आ रहा है. We are here by choice. Not too many brokers are choice. उनके पास 30 साल पहले काम नहीं था तो ब्रोकर बन गए और जो भी था. I was in the US, I came back, obviously I just did real estate. Today it is by choice.
Yes.
So you are MBAs because there's huge amount of money.
That's a great addition. That's one good thing which has happened to the trade.
Yeah.
So now coming back to that is again without demeaning anybody.
Yeah.
You're in an Italian suit here. So does dressing, which car I'm coming out, what is my language, am I talking the right English, will this make a difference in the coming few years?
100%, 1000%.
Absolutely.
Because you see what happens is today you want to hobnob with people you can relate to. You don't want to have coffee with somebody you can't even have coffee with, you know, in terms of, you know, the guy doesn't even know what his cappuccino is, what his Americano is, what an espresso is, you know, what a latte is, and you know, so on. Like we used to also.
And there has to be a conversation. There has to be a conversation.
वो अभी भी कभी होता है. 5 स्टार में जब जाते हैं ना तो वो मेन्यू कार्ड में जो कुछ लिखा रहता है तो समझ में आता नहीं है.
नहीं तो
वेट करते हैं कि तू क्या ऑर्डर कर रहा है, वही दे दे हमको.
We were lucky as species also कि we have been the first generation mobile. We have used first generation mobile. We have used pager. We have used landline, and then we have used.
We are the privileged.
I'm saying we have.
To some extent.
We've seen the evolution.
You've
seen the evolution.
Seen evolution very fast.
No, dressing up is very important.
Very
important. And I think how you speak to people, how you address this thing, how you control the meeting is very important because you need to know your subject today. You just cannot be a broker who's just sitting like this. I've showed you flat number 201. Now it's all yours. Like we as a company take care of complete legal. In fact, we get scared when somebody says, I'll bring a lawyer on board. Because bringing a lawyer on board means we have to first explain to him. Because you see, lawyers are also of different species and types. They are civil lawyers. They are.
The problem happens
Not
when
a real estate
the CA is doing the lawyer's job.
नहीं तो अभी यहाँ पे एक एंगल और अभी आता है. वास्तु.
Let's not even get there.
कितनी डील टूटी तुम्हारी?
नहीं, वास्तु is not applicable to Mumbai. It's an island city.
नहीं वास्तु भाई कमाल करते हो यार.
People come to us for rentals and they are anal about vastu. You know, and they waste so much of time doing all that stuff and they exit in 6 months, 9 months, 1 year's time. I'm like, What are you buying Vastu or buying a flat? Sometimes I ask.
In
You know,
Hindi, Vastu
my
is-
entrance and everybody,
property.
I can tell you, whoever your Vastu guy is, you know, I'll give him 5,000, 10,000, 20,000 rupees and he'll change your Vastu only. The
No,
Vastu guys
Vastu is
are
not a great-
a lot of them are very learned, very respected.
My next show is a Vastu expert coming in, by the way.
But
He's going to be sitting on your chair.
no, I am a firm believer of Vastu. Let me tell you one thing. I did Vastu.
भाई हमने भी खुद वास्तु कराया हमारा.
तो वास्तु में एक either be a believer or don't be a believer.
हाँ, बीच में
But
मत हो.
My problem is that if you're Vastu, please come with your Vastu guy.
हाँ.
हाँ, correct.
Okay,
But don't
and
use
bring
him as a deal breaker. Don't
bring
use
him first day and don't waste time.
No, we
You're
don't.
gonna see 20 flats and take out problems in every flat.
Yes.
Without you don't know, you half the time you also don't know what directions are there.
No,
So
no,
please send the Vastu guy or bring him along with you.
नहीं पहला लेआउट भेज देते हैं. पहला ये
Hey,
लेआउट.
leasing में कैसे भेजोगे आप?
लेआउट में भी लेआउट तो रहता ही है.
रीसेल में कैसे भेजोगे?
रीसेल के भी लेआउट. अरे यार अभी 20 साल पहले जो बिल्डिंग बनी थी उसके तो लेआउट है ही ना हमारे पास.
20 साल वाले बॉम्बे में 50 साल 60 साल
उसका
70
कुछ
साल
नहीं हो
पुरानी है.
सकता,
You
उसका
cannot.
कुछ नहीं
Interesting. चलिए अभी
And then
वास्तु
everybody
से
has a remedy on a Vastu also. Let me tell you.
वास्तु से बड़ा इशू इज पेट. I am with them. I'm myself a pet lover, but then see how difficult it is becoming. Societies are becoming so
चलिए
difficult.
यहाँ पे एक बात करते हैं, which is the emerging asset class. Co-living, co-working, student housing. What is your take on the rise of these classes, asset classes?
See, underlying asset for everybody is real estate.
You're just
Whatever you can call it. I'll give you a room, you do what you want with it. Right? I give you 10,000 square feet space, you make a co-working space or co-living space or whatever it may be, depending on the building, right?
which is whatever the business
Now-
giving
now
you better
it
ROI.
It all boils down to ROI.
So the holiday homes now you're seeing branded developers getting into it, like
They're getting into land.
land
Branded
develop-
lands.
branded land.
Though they're not. But this is an
No,
old trend.
isn't Rustam ji doing villas?
No, they're doing land.
They'll
Only land.
cut out land parcels and give it to
Oh,
you.
So only land
HOBL,
parcels.
HOBL is also doing the same thing. See, this is an old trade. But it's not that it's a new trade. It is just a old wine in a new bottle, and now it is being given as a branded land.
Ludhiana, Jalandhar, Delhi, Gurgaon में पहले
London.
all over
All
cut
over
out
the world.
land parcels. One guy buys the whole 10 acres and he cuts it up, makes roads and infrastructure, whatever.
The government also does the same thing. The HUDCOs of the world and
Yeah,
these are,
absolutely.
if you go to Delhi, DDA plots and all, the
Yeah.
government have
So
been
like in
always doing-
Dubai, as a master planner.
Dubai is a different
different market
Ball
altogether.
game altogether.
How much desert they will sell?
दो तीन सवाल. We're coming towards the end. Very exciting session. So we'll keep it now absolute. No host, no guest. आपस में तीन दोस्त बात कर रहे हैं. दो तीन चीजें जो हमारी इंडस्ट्री में हो रही है. एक which is now so called the influencer. ठीक है. तो उसके सवाल आप लोग उसके बारे में सोचे. और एक ये जो डिजिटल जर्नी शुरू हो गई है, हम सडनली पहले उनको क्लाइंट बोलते थे, अभी हम उसको लीड बोलते हैं.
Correct.
तो दोनों के बारे में आप दोनों की क्या क्या पर्सपेक्टिव है? इन्फ्लुएंसर का पर्सपेक्टिव और लीड का
He
पर्सपेक्टिव.
is the OG influencer.
What is OG?
Original.
Original.
Sandeep Prashant.
See, influencer is somebody who knows the market very well or who knows the product very well, and because he's an expert in that domain and because he knows something about that which you and me don't know about it, he's an influencer to a good extent. Now, if that influencer himself is getting swayed in a social media, that's a separate discussion to have. Okay, but to my mind, influencer, I'm an influencer with my client because I influence him to make a decision,
Yes.
an informed decision. Hey, look, sir, if your budget is 3 crore rupees, if you're looking to buy this for your house or for investment, I'm influencing you to buy a X property with an X developer because this will give you either returns or capital appreciations or rentals, or if you want to sell it after 5 years time, this is the approximate thing. So for me, I'm the influencer for my client based on his need.
And your information which you're giving the client.
That
Yeah,
information
and
is influencing.
That's the
That information again is done because of my hard work in the industry of going morning to evening in monsoons, okay, going in the sun.
But Sandeep Saad is not on social media. Mr. X, Mr. Y, Mr. Z is on social media.
They are, because
See-
he didn't choose to be there, they are there. If
No,
we-
no.
we-
Prashant, I'll tell you what. Everybody has a niche market,
Correct.
right? So today the trend is social media. Today there are 3
But then the issue is social. If you say the trend is social media, see, and if today after so many years I started doing podcasting, and my core focus is empower the buyer, inform the buyer, because he needs to be informed. Always the case. So is the information coming from an informed source? मतलब influencer.
मैं आपको एक बात बताता हूँ, अगेन बहुत दिल से बात हो रही है. तो next guest is Rafiq Merchant.
Oh, nice.
So I'll give you an example of this person, the transformation what Rafiq has brought in his own personality, in his own self, you know. And hi Rafiq, by the way, remember your next guest on the show. So that is one example from an influencer perspective. He's really changed the game.
Yeah.
You know, now when I talk to him and what I used to talk to him earlier, is already a change. So जो आप दोनों की बात हो रही है, सोशल मीडिया को यूज करना चाहिए फ्रॉम एन इन्फ्लुएंसिंग पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you have to be informed yourself.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's
How
what.
are
exactly.
you, if you are an influencer, how are you influencing the decision? If you are influencing the decision, and is it a borrowed knowledge? Where decision making is coming from a 30 years of experience, which the client is honoring to.
तो आपने एक बहुत अच्छी पॉइंट बोली प्रशांत कि आप सोशल मीडिया पे हो कि नहीं हो वो आपका चॉइस है.
Choice. Yeah.
बट डू यू थिंक गोइंग फॉरवर्ड दैट यू शुड बी ऑन सोशल मीडिया? इस अब ये पॉडकास्ट का नया ट्रेंड शुरू हुआ है.
Then we should. That is why we are here today.
See,
This is debut.
आप थाना से आ रहे हो.
Is debut.
our websites perform pretty well, okay, and we are very happy because they are full of information, okay, and I like to do things which I am doing the best, which I can do it nicely. Today I don't have the bandwidth to do social media too much because it needs a full day shooting.
But you already have 4 websites.
Yeah,
No.
so for me,
So
I already have a
you
digital
don't need to
presence.
be on
Yeah,
social
so I can't
media.
do everything, you know.
You are doing
Sandeep,
digital very well.
I am Sandeep, but I'll correct you here. What is happening is you are still two-dimensional,
Yeah,
and the world is shifting towards a video format. Now why is everybody looking at video? Why the client is आज client भी क्या बोल रहा है? तो यार घर पे जाके एक वीडियो खींच के मेरे को भेज दे आज. Why is it happening? Just try to understand. आज पहली बार जो कल कस्टमर होने वाला है वो आज अगर जो आज से 10 साल पहले 5 साल का बच्चा था ना, उसने वीडियो देखते देखते ही खाना खाया है. अब उसको हर चीज वीडियो से ही रिलेट करनी है. तो जब वो 25 साल का हो रहा है ना, तो उसको टेक्स्ट से में कुछ मजा नहीं आ रहा है. 2 dimensional not interested.
Sangeet, my only small issue on that from a personal perspective is that you call it 2D or 3D. On a video, you can only show one flat or one concept, whatever.
It's a
I am giving you the entire micro market analysis in one shot on my screen.
Attention span
But
कितना रह गया?
then the buyer has to be informed. If
but
he's
then-
putting 10 crore
So this
rupees
is going to be
in a 1 minute,
so Sandeep, अगर हम बात करें, right? This is now a 360 degree.
yeah,
So you have to have digital presence.
Everything.
You have to
Everything,
have social
website,
media presence,
yeah.
You have to have location knowledge. You have to have developer knowledge. आज भी आप मेरे को बताओ सर, हम जब चैनल पार्टनर मीट में जाते हैं, how many the channel partners they really know about the project?
or the promoters.
हाँ मतलब
Or the promoters?
हाँ, हमको तो फाइनेंशियल हेल्थ मालूम होती थी प्रोजेक्ट की.
हाँ, exactly. We used to know.
हमको तो पास तो डिटेलिंग होती थी कि ठीक है चल.
What was the size of Green Acres?
Size 1875.
See? What was the size of anything? So this is ingrained here.
Yeah, exactly.
अरे क्योंकि we have advised so many people. We have been part of the market intelligence also, no?
Yeah.
मतलब when you have been part of the market intelligence,
We
you
don't
know
know the dates on which launch happens. You know?
चलिए एक और सवाल पूछते हैं यहाँ पे, डेवलपर के हिसाब से क्या चेंज आप देख रहे हो? we're not talking the branded and non-branded.
Yeah, I think
the overall perspective of how the builder has or the developer has changed in their outlook in terms of
I think the
transaction.
customer has changed the developer. Customer has become so demanding and is so well read.
Do you
no,
agree
I
with
would say that is a part of the journey, but I would say is that the developer today is much
He's
more
much more
informed.
learned himself.
He's very learned because he's got a good
Second generation, third generation
good
developer,
teams, good
especially
teams.
बाहर पढ़ के आया है.
They listen. Earlier they were not listening. Let's be
First
honest about it.
generation.
They used to. Now they have team meetings.
Open to suggestion.
They have review meetings. They
Your
have
five favorite developers.
my 5. I would say,
Not number wise, any random five.
I would say Oberoi would be one of my most favorites. DLF today, because I like the way they function and the way they want to come back into the market. I like a lot of smaller names in the market.
Go ahead.
You know,
Name.
I like.
I've asked you 5
I
good
like
names.
Lotus, Anand
Lotus?
Panditji, very much because of the fact that the kind of
Very niche
speed,
real
the
estate
speed
development.
of development is huge. I like L&T, again very favorite with
Corporate.
the masses. I like Lodha as well because lot of choice. Kalpataru Vadva, others are all evergreen. You know, can't say no to them, but they're very nice, very good. But yes, today
good. Your
the
five
way
choice?
things are.
My choices will come from Thana.
Yeah, of
There will
course.
be a
You're a
difference.
Thane guy.
I know my market.
We are catching up.
हारमोनी एक नहीं बोल देना उसमें.
Is your home brand. I make most of my money from Lodha. So Lodha is my favorite brand.
Favorite guy.
Oberoi, Narang Realty, one of the finest brands
Yeah,
of Thane.
very good.
Very good.
One of the names I
the
wanted to take
finest-
also.
One of the finest brands. I stay in Narang property, so I am also happy.
Underrated brand. Not
No,
that brand.
underrated. I think
Good
people,
brand.
it's like,
They're boutique developers.
Very good brand. Very
Very
it's
good.
like silent luxury.
Very
you
silent.
want to buy a LV, but you don't want to have LV on it.
Yeah.
That's
Very
what
nice.
Narang Realty.
So we've got Lodha, Narang,
Hiranandani.
Hiranandani.
Rustamji. And there are so many brands, but these are the people who are making movers and shakers of Thana market.
Very good. प्रशांत थोड़े दिन पहले हम बात कर रहे थे that there is one alphabet L and D को अगर आप change करते हो तो the whole journey is there. Lead to deal.
I am looking for somebody to co-author me on this because I want to write.
So I don't think you have a better person. than him.
Because just you change the two alphabets positioning from a LEAD, it becomes
चलो बल्कि
DEAL.
आज एक काम करते हैं. Let's announce the book. All three
Lead
of
to
us.
deal, yeah. Yeah, we contribute to it.
All
Lovely.
three of us. So we should do this in say 45 days. आराम से हो जाएगा.
And this will become a Bible for the new age broker
And the buyer.
and the buyer.
और यहाँ पे करीब 15 बुक हर्षुल सावला की है तो हर्षुल को बोल दूंगा भाई तेरा परमिशन दे
आपका
दे मेरे को.
मैंडेट नहीं है ना.
चलिए तो ये जो एक बात हो रही है कॉल सेंटर्स की बात हो रही है. संडे को 3 बजे फोन आ रहा है. क्या व्हाट इज योर एंटायर टेक ऑन दिस
See,
call
the
centers and
developers who have large townships and large projects, they're running like a factory. It's a process. Now, what happens is that one of the processes is that they have the sources of websites and leads and whatever they are activating on social media and so on Facebooks and Instagrams and so on. So the leads are coming in by virtue of phone numbers and the name of the person. They don't even care who the person is. If it's Amir Khan, they will just dial and Amir Khan, are you looking for a 2-bedroom? That's it. Now the deal is that what their
so
job
the
is.
client has become a number now.
A number,
Data point.
number, a
Data
data
point.
point, a data point. So they're just calling and they don't care it's lunchtime, they don't care it's evening, because they have been given a mandate that you have to make 70 calls a day.
And that is the cheapest marketing cost also.
Whatever it may be.
Competitive,
That is,
competitive.
I'm not even getting into that.
Let's not go there because you don't know how much
question
time
is
it has
simple.
taken to lead to generate.
The question is simple. Their job is to get those guys
Drive
to the
the
site. Whoever it
Traction
is.
to the site.
To the site. So the lead comes on the site. It's like a factory, right? I said process है. So factory में माल आया. माल क्या आया? Your lead आया. अब उसको आगे क्या करना है? So lead को वो कॉल सेंटर वाले लेडी ने या जेंटलमैन ने फोन किया at odd hours. Okay, फोन उठाया तो उठाया, अच्छी तरह बात किया, गुस्से में बात किया, सब कुछ
उनको फर्क भी नहीं पड़ता.
they're agnostic. They're agnostic.
Habitual now.
Habitual. So their job is what? See, they were given a job. They get per
It's their
day
job,
or
they're
per
getting
month.
money for it.
So they're doing their job. They don't care. Okay, about timelines or holiday or Ganpati है कि दिवाली है
पर
कि
मैं
New
काम
Year
कर
है,
रहा हूँ तो वो भी काम
Christmas
कर रहा
है.
होगा ना.
हाँ. So their job is to get the lead and walk in to the site because that is the developer's direct deal without any intermediary in between.
Correct.
No, I'll cut you here.
Depends on the developer or
Depends on who's providing the data.
Exactly.
Ah.
So whoever
So
is
9 out of 10 times the data is provided by
depending.
Nah.
That is, but I'm giving you a structured process. It could be the backend data could be of anybody.
Anybody.
But the process remains largely the same.
यहाँ पे
9 out of 10 times the buyer doesn't even know there is a broker involved in his transaction.
Yeah. That's
यहाँ
another
पे एक
challenge.
पॉइंट की बात करते हैं. We've been talking about branded developers and big developers. it's a number game. So they have made 10,000 houses. So they had 50,000 walk-ins. So they have that data with them. Any misuse of that data, do you think? Anything which is happening? And this is, again, we're trying to bring it on the frontier. So one, we spoke about tagging, that we should increase the tagging car.
Period. Yeah.
And there are the so-called customer loyalty programs.
Right.
Where if you have bought a house in my...
that's done by the developers.
So that's okay. Do you think both of you agree?
See, it's a very small fraction of their business. If they want to make their customer happy, there's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing you can help with it.
संगीत 15 साल लगते हैं एक फ्लैट से दूसरे फ्लैट में जाने में.
हाँ तो कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता.
Loyalty is more कि आप आए हो, but उसमें भी लड़ाइयाँ होती हैं. उसमें loyalty में कैसा होता है? Let's say I recommend Prashant, okay, and I will just give कि Prashant looking for a flat. पीछे से developer gives me 100,000 rupees.
No.
For example,
this is where it started.
This is where it started.
हाँ, कि this is where it started.
And दोस्तों की लड़ाई हो जाती है इसके अंदर.
नहीं, this is where the cashback started.
What is cashback?
Cashback in the industry it started because of the developer starting a loyalty program. Now developer comes and says, if you are my loyal customer, so if you buy, I am giving you 2% discount.
No, that is one. What he's talking about loyalty is another one where you refer. A referral loyalty.
Referral loyalty.
So referral loyalty is a big problem one. And I'm witness to it where there have been...
every month.
So what happens is, like, I bought with say ex-developer and I referred Prashant to the developer and he also bought it. Now I got my money sitting at home because I referred Prashant because of the loyalty
and not the 2%.
Whatever it may be. It could be a gift hamper.
It could be a gift hamper.
Okay, I got my this. Now when he becomes the owner, he also gets enrolled into the referral program. And then he realizes that because Sandeep referred Prashant to the developer, Sandeep got an X-bumper, you know, and he went on to the Singapore trip and he didn't even tell me.
Correct.
This was because of me.
Very interesting. Cashback के बारे में बताना.
So when Sandeep referred Sangeet Kumar bought. So then Sangeet Kumar referred Prashant Puri. Sangeet Kumar got a deal from the developer. Now because Sangeet Kumar is referring, the client might get a 2% discount. Equivalent to the brokerage is whatever
average.
Now, how do the broker beat this? How will the broker beat this? So, technically, it's a cashback only. So, when broker does it, it's a cashback. When the developer does it, it's a loyalty program.
Yeah.
And now, but what the market, I'll not name. Unfortunately, I cannot name. I don't want to.
We should not name.
But I will give you a scenario of last 6 months.
So there's a disclaimer here in today's podcast. We are not taking names. In case name has come out, it's come out.
If you understand, you understand.
You understand.
We all are.
I'm not from Thane.
He's not from Thane. He's not bothered. I am from Thane, but then this doesn't make. I am happy with this space. Huge developer, big launch, took the market by storm, and some brokers in the market started offering cashback to the developer to the buyer if you deal through us. So even our customers who were already booked, have received a call. Sir, आपने गलती कर दी, आपने हमारे through book किया था, तो we would have given 3% cashback. And 3% is unheard of. But 2% is standard industry practice. So then we understood there were certain targets which were given to the
2% standard industry practice for a broker to get a brokerage.
Yeah,
and out of that, whatever he wants to give it to somebody is a separate matter altogether.
मतलब we work.
इंश्योरेंस में होता है.
नहीं तो इंश्योरेंस में ऐसा थोड़ा ना होता है कि आप अपने खले से पैसा भरोगे क्या बायर के लिए?
And here you're not charging the buyer. In fact, you're on the contrary, you're paying him back because you're getting X amount from the builder.
No, तो 3% cashback पूरे मार्केट में फ्लोट हो गया. Everybody knows.
This we're talking of real
3-4 months back story. It is still well. I will not name. तू थाना फोन करके चेक कर लेना कौन था डेवलपर को. तो एक क्लाइंट मेरे को फोन किया.
बेटे तू बहुत पिटने वाला है.
नहीं मेरे को I
am not there.
हम लोग फिर भी सेफ हैं.
I am not in Thane.
अच्छा एक क्लाइंट फोन किया.
कोई कंट्रोवर्सी अगर थाना के बारे में तो प्रशांत पुरी से बात कर.
I am happy to help. एक NRI फोन किया. बोला प्रशांत, you know what? This developer doesn't give discount, but I am getting it a 3% discount.
ये एक्चुअल कॉल हुआ है.
ये एक्चुअल NRI का कॉल आया है. तो मैं बोला नहीं सर, द डेवलपर इज ऑन अ नॉन नेगोशिएबल टर्म, मतलब देयर इज नो जीरो नेगोशिएशन हैपनिंग ऑन द टेबल, देयर आर, यू गो चेक, नो, बोले नो आई एम गेटिंग 3% डिस्काउंट फ्रॉम द डेवलपर। बोला दिस इज अनहर्ड ऑफ, मतलब दिस, मतलब why should a developer dilute his brand value for a NRI?
And that too by 3%.
By 3%. Then I started digging in it. कि मतलब if there is a smoke, there might be fire. And I started digging into it, and I found कि the developer is not offering the discount. The broker is offering the discount. A broker is offering a cashback which he thinks is a discount.
Oh, so difference of understanding from a buyer's perspective. He thinks that the developer is giving a discount, but this is part of the broker's call, because he may have some back-end deal with the developer based on the numbers he does.
क्वांटिटी है, जैसे दिल्ली
Quantity.
में होता है यार,
अगर मैंने 100 फ्लैट बेच
दिल्ली
दिए,
वाला इधर मत तेरा, दिल्ली और हमारे बीच में
हाँ ठीक है, continue, focus.
we can't match them.
Focus.
We can't match them. Focus here.
So I think this is also an eye opener for a developer also should understand कि when they offer target driven remuneration to select CPs, they should also know कि how the CP is doing it. Is he not diluting the brand? See, it is the most easiest way to do a business when I know, मतलब अभी तू, if say suppose you are wearing an LV, you know LV doesn't give you discount. But if I will take you for a ride, कि I'll get you a discount in LV. You are
actually you're disturbing the brand value.
So what the broker here is doing is disrupting his market, and he is cutting into his own pocket. Let's say he was supposed to get say 3.5% for a deal, or 4% for a deal.
आधा % पे काम कर रहा है।
वो he is working on 0.5%, 1%, and what he is saying is he is saying कि मैं सबका पैसा खा जाऊँ,
larger volume,
40 फ्लैट 30 फ्लैट बेच लूँ, तो he will get 1% into 30 flats.
Decent amount हो गया।
So and he gets a
मतलब
bigger name in
हो
the
गया
market.
ठीक है, मगर वो मतलब every day is not Christmas. मतलब वो तो
My concern is now
what happens when
buyers ever get the 3%?
अरे
They will never get the 3%. I can guarantee you this much.
Sit outside that site.
तो हम इसके बारे में जानेंगे कि उनको 3% मिला कि नहीं
मिला। नहीं ऐसा नहीं, देख दो चीजें, या तो 3%, या तो सबक मिलेगा, या पैसा मिलेगा,
दोनों में से
कुछ तो मिलेगा।
तो ये नेक्स्ट पॉडकास्ट तक अपने पास आंसर आ जाना चाहिए।
संदीप,
pleasure.
Thank you very much for having us over.
This is
your closing remarks, whatever you want to say to the developer friends, to our broker friends, to our customers, buyers.
I will restrict to my customers. I will only say one thing to the home buyers today. You are putting a lot of money on stake. You are paying EMIs for buying houses. Be careful what you're buying, who you're buying with, who you're buying from. Take an informed decision from everywhere. Okay, 30 years of business, we have seen everything across. We have seen the largest ships sinking. You will take an apartment with a view. Next day morning, there is going to be another building there.
Yes.
And that information is there with you, Sandeep.
So because we know that this developer is doing this, we at least can tell you, कि look sir, इसके पीछे एक आने वाला है. Okay? The new age boy who's coming out of school and starting doing something may not understand the dynamics. He's only concerned by what minute you're giving the check out to the developer for booking. We want to differentiate from a doctor and a surgeon. Very clearly.
मतलब basically I put it this way, standard brokerage terms are 2%. I just want to say, don't risk your 98% to save 2%.
Absolutely.
Very good.
This is an advisory call. This is not an impromptu decision. This requires advice.
How you respect a doctor, how you respect your lawyers, how you go to, okay, you have a heart problem, who you go to? You just don't go to anybody. You call up 3 people and it's your life. You have an eye problem, you call your friends, who's a good eye guy. You have a problem in legal, lawyers. Okay, you find
a lifetime decision.
Find 3 guys, कौन है, कहाँ है ऑफिस, क्या करते हैं, एक्सपर्ट है कि नहीं है. Same thing, you have to get into it. See, RERA licensing came in, they gave us a full 50 bunch questions to answer. We all had to answer those questions, we all studied for it.
You all.
Why the licensing came in? For simple reason, they want to enhance the quality of
So
education
the
to the
focus is going to be the buyer,
the buyer.
and the buyer.
Buyer, yes.
The RERA was
The
made for buyer.
the education of the buyer is must today more than the channel partner or
Channel
the
partner,
developer.
yeah.
Because he should be taking more decision more strongly as to what I'm going to deal with. You know, just putting inquiry and leads is not, and stop wasting time. If you don't have budgets, and please be specific in your calls. Listen, this is a query call. I'm just querying, I'll take 6 months to decide.
Very nice. Very
People
good.
are not very clear in their communication.
No, absolutely.
If you're blaming developers and brokers for their misdeeds, I will say even the home buyer is equally to be blamed.
No, I'm
today.
saying buyer is a bigger culprit for reason ki
Yeah.
he is, when he goes to 10 developers, the developer thinks there are 10 clients in the market.
Yeah. And also, also he's calling for the same information to 10 parties.
10 partners.
Okay? And he doesn't understand. It's going to be end of the day, go and sit with the guy on the table. Whoever developer, don't go to brokers. Just go to him straight. We have no issues in that.
Correct.
You know, don't waste your time.
Superb.
Sangeet, when did you last saw a movie?
काफी time हो गया frankly.
I had a very interesting observation last week. When I booked a ticket on Book My Show, they were charging me 10% of the ticket cost as convenience fee.
Convenience fee, yeah.
Okay? Just for the platform. Same thing Zepto does, same thing Instamart does, same thing Zomato does, same thing. I am saying here, in 2%, I am providing an advice. So am I not convenient?
Yeah. And when we only take our fee after the transaction is done, not prior to that.
And we give you advice for every transaction.
Every transaction, all the convenience is done to you. We pick you up, we drop you back.
Very good. And you're there for the registration.
We're there for registration,
everything.
we are there for every
see
meeting.
to it that the journey
You have a
is
smallest problem, allotment letter नहीं आया, ये नहीं आया, वो नहीं आया, registration करवा दो, पैसे उठवा लो, check उठवा लो, भिजवा दो. You know, all that.
इंटरेस्ट वेवर करवाया है,
interest waiver करवाया है.
इंटरेस्ट वेवर करवाया है कितनी
Yeah.
जगह.
So, very, we can say that we are proud to be in what business. and what
Absolutely.
profession you are.
Absolutely. And I can also tell you, there are a lot of clients who value us to the T, and I love them all.
No,
Very good.
You know, they don't even know what has happened to their property. They don't even know when it was leased out.
They trust you.
They trust us.
That's
they have,
the
and I'm
backbone
talking
of the
about
business.
the biggest of the names in the industry. Biggest of names in the industry. The way we function with them, they don't even care. It's up to you. It's your problem now. Take care. And what we do is, in turn, is that we take 10 more times the precaution.
It becomes more difficult.
because the entire onus is on me.
Owners with you.
क्या बात है?
They say you do the agreement. Imagine if somebody tells you, you do my agreement, you do my heart surgery. Imagine that responsibility level then.
So
I have to drop everything and focus only on one transaction.
you can't
Am
go
I doing
wrong
anything
there.
wrong?